The Dark Sad Life of Boogie2988 came out yesterday on Halloween. It's a documentary covering Boogie and I guess his personal life for a brief period of time within this last year. It was made by a guy named Mike Klum, and I gotta tell you guys, full disclosure here, full disclaimer, I personally know Boogie. I consider him a very close friend. We got phone numbers. We DM each other. I've seen his dick in a dick photo. Anyways, all jokes aside, I'm going to try to be as unbiased as I possibly can be, but unfortunately, some of my criticisms are based off of what I know about Boogie as a human being and a friend that I've had for several years. Most notably, how I feel that the documentary really didn't get to showcase a personal, I guess, genuine side of Boogie. We saw small glimpses of it, but this documentary was only 55 minutes long. And I know some of you guys might be thinking, well, Eric, 55 minutes is plenty for somebody that is a nobody outside of YouTube. If you're going to be doing a deep dive into an individual like Boogie or a Jake Paul or anybody like that, you have to really showcase a strong period of time in it. 55 minutes, I feel, doesn't do justice for anybody that is as polarizing as an individual like Boogie. I think Shane Dawson did it best when he did his Jake Paul series. He did, like, what, 7 videos that were over an hour each? He followed him like a genuine, like, case study. He deep dived into it like none other. This documentary, as far as the narrative goes, it introduced us who Boogie was, and it kind of showed him trying to sell some of his personal possessions because he's facing bankruptcy, possibly. Then it showcased his personal relationship, and then it kind of talked about his health, and then it ended. I feel that it didn't do it justice as far as who Boogie is as an individual. And I know that there was a part in this documentary where the director kind of said he took a break because it was just too depressing and too dark. I gotta tell you guys, I feel, and this is me just being very critical of Mike Klum as a director and a creator, I feel because he didn't have the right questions to ask an individual like Boogie. I've never had a depressing conversation with Boogie. Even when he's talking to me about his health problems and anything that might be bothering him, I've never had a depressing conversation with Boogie2988. I know a lot of you guys that are detractors with Boogie that are watching this video might already be tuning out. You might be flaming me in the comments, calling me a cuck, and disliking the video. But I gotta tell you guys, I met Boogie, I want to say, like 2013, 2014, 2012, somewhere in that ballpark, early 2010s. And I've grown to know him personally. I've seen him talk about his demons. I've seen him go out and hang out and actually live in society and stuff. And I felt that this documentary didn't paint him enough as a down-to-earth human being. It almost made it come across like Boogie had a lot of money. He spent it on stupid shit. He's fucking a young girl that's 20 years old, and he's dying. I feel that there was no, like, relatable interconnectivity with him. I felt that, I don't want to say it was a hit piece, but I feel that this director could have did a little bit better becoming up close and personal with Boogie. Like, we could have really deep dived into Boogie's personal life. I know Boogie personally did a video several years ago called Drawing My Life, and he touched on his family life and things like that. If you didn't want a recap of that in your documentary, Mike Klum, I completely understand, but I think at the very least, we could at least dove a little bit into the psyche of Boogie. You know, he openly had said that he was suicidal because of stuff recent years and things like that. We could have dove a little bit into that and talked about his recovery from that mental state that he was in and what he's been doing to change things and stuff. And I feel that a lot of stuff was glossed over. Now, there was some things I didn't learn that I didn't know about Boogie that I learned for the first time. I could have went without seeing Boogie naked in a bathtub, but then again, I have seen a lot of naked Boogie in my fucking years as well. He's seen a lot of naked Eric. You know, we've touched tips. Now, I'm just joking. Watch, this is going to be a new rumor on the internet. Eric and Boogie gay sex, right? But no, I feel that we could have dove a little bit into certain examples that we've seen in recent years of Boogie's choices and stuff, and really heard him out. That's the one thing that I think I know personally about Boogie that I feel is that he's able to explain himself really good. And I feel when it's on a YouTube video where he's having to edit it and talk and put it together himself, he closes in a lot. But when he's talking to somebody else, he's an open book, 110%. I feel Mike Klum could have really open booked Boogie for hours sitting there. And I'm not sure how much deleted content or extras there is that's not in this documentary, but I feel that he missed the boat on getting to find a unique positive side of what makes Boogie Boogie. I feel we saw glimpses of it when we went to the arcade and he was talking about how the video games were his passion and you know how he felt like a kid again, that 1988 will always be with him and stuff. Uh, you know, Boogie's always touched lightly in his high school lives and that he played sports and stuff. Why does anybody ever showcase any of that personal stuff when it comes to him? Why do we always focus on uh, just showing, I guess, the shock value stuff? I feel it really doesn't do justice to Boogie as an individual. And I know this is Mike Klum's creative, I guess, piece. He could put it together as he wants. But I just don't understand how this guy said that he thought it was too depressing. And then he still made it even more depressing. I think what would have been best for this documentary, honestly, is to just focus on stuff that we don't know about Boogie. I felt a lot of this was just too much recap, too much rehash that we already know, and it almost played it safe to an extent. I don't know how if Boogie had parameters of what he didn't want to talk about or what was this and that, but I feel that to make a successful piece of content like a film or a documentary, you have to have an overarching narrative. I think, you know, if you focus on how he was a popular YouTuber and I guess he had his downfall, which we all go through it. Look at my channel. Then you focus on the recovery, the girlfriend, and then focus on who he is as a person and find the bright side of who he is. I felt it could have been a little bit more of a positive vibe to it. I did like the documentary. I know there were several tweets and stuff where Boogie felt that, you know, he put himself out there and it was going to make him look like a piece of shit and that people are going to look at him differently. I don't think I look at Boogie any you know, worse than as what I've already looked at him at in high regard. Again, I've had personal experiences with Boogie where I was like, wow, he really is a genuine friend. For example, several years ago, I was at a convention. It was my birthday, and I wanted to take a picture with Charles Martinet, who's the voice of Super Mario, and I didn't have enough money. I didn't talk to Boogie about it. I didn't tell him I didn't have enough money. I guess he just saw that I was a little let down that I didn't get a photo, and he goes, hey, Eric, here's money to take a photo with Charles Martinet. It would mean a lot to me if you got to take a photo for your birthday with somebody that you look up to. And I was saying, no, I don't need it. You know, thank you. I appreciate it. He would not let me take the money back. And it was a genuine gesture for me that I will remember to this day. And it meant a lot. He just interrupted me and said, hey, I saw that you were thinking about taking a photo with him. I want you to take it with him. It would mean a lot to me. And that stuck out to me. I've also seen other examples where this guy has been just a complete pal. Without diving into too much personal story about me, I was going through a rough time. And I had a brief panic attack. And Boogie was nearby. He didn't ask any questions. He didn't, you know, I guess, hammer into me and tell me to get over it. He just said, hey, come with me. Let's go for a ride. And he took me for a ride and we went to go eat. And, you know, he just treated it like a good pal would do. So I feel a lot of people give him a rough time. And yeah, as a public figure, you're going to get a rough time from people and stuff. I just feel that this documentary could have been written a little bit better and combined a little bit together. And again, I don't know how much of this is deleted footage that, you know, that we have yet to see. I don't know how much of it was Boogie playing into a bit, things like that. But I feel that we could have focused on a little bit more of the brighter, innocent, genuine side. The side of Boogie that went to the arcade, the side of Boogie that likes the Magic and Gathering, that the side of Boogie that played football, the side of Boogie that, like, there was parts of it where I'm like, why are they showing this? Like, they teased a lot of stuff. Like the film director would gloss over things, tease things, and I'm like, okay, cool, this would be an interesting direction. But then he would move on to something else, and I don't know. I don't know. It was interesting to watch, but I felt it could have been a lot better, in my opinion.